Hi everyone, and welcome back to Sit and Knit for a Bit with Arne and Carlos. And we are, as always, your hosts.
Arne and Carlos.
And we are back with yet another episode. It was actually supposed to be published last Sunday, but we came home from our knitting cruise and I had a little bit of a throat pain. The snuffles, I guess. I was a little clogged up. Yeah. I wasn't feeling very well, and we hadn't recorded it. And then by the time I started feeling better, it was already Sunday and we just didn't have time. So sorry about that, but here we are.
Yeah. It's easy to catch something when you're in a cruise ship or a ship like that.
I mean, yeah, I guess. But it wasn't serious, and I was just a little bit under the weather for a few days. Yeah. But now I'm okay, and we are ready to move on to the next cruise. So here we are.
So we had how many days? 8 days at home?
9 days at home.
9 days at home, and we had the deadline for some work with Rowan, and we had the carpenter coming because we had to take the glass of the ceiling or the roof of the greenhouse down because in the winter with all the snow, the glass is sliding out. Yeah. So the water comes in from the top, and you know, if it slides too much, it can break. So
so we need to.
He helped us.
Yeah, maintenance and chores connected to the house are endless. Every day there's something that breaks that needs repairing.
Or like the last day on the cruise.
Oh my God, the drama! The drama we had.
Was
one of the last days.
It was the last day before we arrived in Bergen.
So I get a call that I didn't have time to answer. I get a call from the alarm company, and I'm looking, I say, oh my God, what now? And then Arne comes running into the cabin. Oh my God, the alarm company called. And I go, yeah, I can see that because they called me too. I didn't have time to answer. What's wrong?
Yeah. And that's always when you travel, that's when they call you.
Well, of course, because when you're home, they don't need to call you.
So they said, there's a bird in the kitchen. And then I said,
what?
How? Like, I didn't understand how the bird could come in the kitchen. And stupid me, I was thinking, are you sure it's a kitchen? Because we have this stuffed birds in the other room. So I was thinking maybe a little spider came in front of the camera and the camera went off and then they saw the stuffed bird. But no, she explained the room and it was the kitchen.
Yeah, she described the colors and everything. She had very good visual memory.
I think they have like a widescreen of the whole room.
Yeah, but I think she might have been into interior decorating because she was describing the color of the curtains and the wall and the little tchotchkes on the shelves. I mean, it was very detailed.
And then she said there's a little magpie sitting on a cabinet in the kitchen.
And we were like, oh my God. So we called our friend who used to take care of Freya, who still helps us with our house when we are traveling. And she came, opened the door, and she found the little magpie. And it was a very young one.
It was a young one.
Very exhausted. It had probably been there the whole weekend.
Actually, it must have been 3 days because this was...
She was there 3 days before.
Yeah, she came on Friday and this was...
On Monday.
Monday or Tuesday? No.
On Monday.
Monday. So
Monday was the last day of the cruise.
So I was thinking maybe the door, maybe she had the door open, and she said she had because she was watering flowers on the front porch plants, and then she left the door open. But you know, a magpie would not dare to fly behind her and into the house. So I was thinking maybe that's a stupid idea. And then she came and she got the bird out, and then she was looking all over the house and she found some ash
from the fireplace.
So maybe I think because she had cleaned the house on Friday and there was salt on the floor when she came. So the magpie must have come through the chimney. So now I have tried to figure out what to put on the chimney to not get birds in the chimneys.
Yeah, it was very cute. It was like a little magpie.
Oh, it's so cute.
She found it quite exhausted and she let it free, and hopefully the trauma didn't kill it. I hope.
No, she said it was flying away, so...
Good. But she was exhausted probably from trying to get away. And she didn't have any food either. I mean, imagine. She must have been...
No water,
but she must have been stuck there for 3 days without food. And now we're going to digress to another story. Earlier this spring, we're in the floral or in the nursery, And Arne comes with these plants. Look, Carlos, look at these. These eat meat-eating plants, and maybe we'll get rid of the insects, the flies in the kitchen. We don't have many, but there are a few in the summer.
Yeah, because they have these cows walking by and
Right.
they do their business on the front of the house, and that brings in some flies.
So I tell Arne, okay, good idea. Let's try this. So we bring these cannibal plants, put them in the kitchen, and not a single fly has been eaten since. However, the magpie ate the plant.
Yeah, not all of it, but it had tasted it. Maybe it didn't taste good.
I don't know.
She didn't eat all of the plant, but she also
most of it.
She also been. I think she's been eating a little bit of your geraniums.
Yes.
In the bathroom.
I could see that too.
So, but she survived.
She ate the cannibal plants that we had. Yeah, so they're pretty dead now.
So we have a lot of animal problems.
Yeah, so they didn't eat the plants didn't eat the flies, but the magpie ate the plant. And as if that's the whole story with animals, no. We've had a whole summer of Canada geese on our lake, and now we have explained in previous podcasts how we fenced. We have a low fence for the Canada geese not to come in the garden.
Yeah, because they lose their feathers, so they don't fly when they have kids.
Exactly. People keep reminding us that geese fly and that they can fly over the fence, but no. At the time of the year when they're on our lake, they have goslings. The goslings don't fly, and conveniently, the adults lose their flight feathers. So they don't have flight feathers in the summer, and they cannot fly.
That's very smart, actually, if you have those goslings and someone come, like a fox is coming or something, and the parents fly away.
Yeah, they can't.
No.
And also the Canada geese, they're in the lake at night because they're safer from predators on the lake than on land.
Yeah, so
because they can't fly.
They're floating around while they sleep.
Anyway, the Canada geese have apparently, while we were away, they must have grown their flight feathers, and the goslings must have become a little bit bigger, and now they're gone. So they probably flew away.
Yeah, we just finished the last piece of the fence.
Which was great, because now they're gone, and a rabbit or a hare has moved into the garden instead.
That's so cute. And I saw him a few days ago, or he or she or whatever it is, and winter is coming.
Yes.
So there were like white stripes on the edges of the long hair. That was so beautiful.
He was very cute.
So it's funny with hair. That's written H-A-R-E.
Yes.
And that's hare.
Hare in Norwegian.
In Norwegian, it's the same word. But when I explained this, that we had a hare in the garden to the carpenter, he didn't understand what I was talking about. Because in my dialect, it's a herra.
Oh, herra.
And herra, we had a herra in the garden. And he said, what? And this is just the dialect from the other side of the mountain. So they don't use that word in this region. So I had to explain.
Anyway, for many, many years, we lived with a little, what are we going to call Freya? The little moose Duracell battery that never stopped. Always barking and always running around. So Freya proved the garden, so she couldn't get out. No. But the lake side was open until now. The Canada geese, we have Canada geese proved the lake side by adding that lower fence, and perhaps we're not quite sure whether the hare is actually stuck in here and can't get out. So
it could be that he doesn't find a way out.
I think, but then he must have gotten in somehow.
Yeah, he must have found the opening, but there's not many, so to find that opening again, that can be hard. Or maybe it came in while I was working in the garden, and the port was open.
Yeah, right. The gate was open. It walked right in with a suitcase saying, "Hi, I'm moving in here."
I'm moving in here because I think he feels safe in the garden.
I don't know.
I see we don't need that, the kantklipper. What's that in English? That machine that cut the grass.
Oh, right. The edges, yeah.
Edges.
No, not now.
No. The hair is doing the job.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking we should maybe open up the fence somewhere so that it could potentially leave.
Or we can wait until the snow comes, because then he will jump over the...
That is true.
Yeah, he will stay on top of the
snow. And he's around. I mean, we see him almost every day. Yesterday, I went to the bathroom downstairs, and as I left the bathroom, I looked out the door at our terrace, and I saw it hopping past our terrace, you know. And you saw him the other day?
Three times actually. We had visitors this weekend, and when we went out to have lunch outside, or I think it was, then our friends saw the hare jumping on the other terrace we have.
Yeah.
So he's probably hiding under there. That's a nice place to hide for foxes. But the fox can't get into the garden this time of the year.
Probably not.
He's very safe.
I think he's safe. Anyway, it is lovely to think of our garden as a haven of peace and tranquility for Arne and me, and also a safe space for all the animals.
For a hare and the goose.
Yeah, and the goose. But we don't want the goose. No. The hare is fine.
Yeah. We also have a mink.
Well, that's a long time
but
ago.
was that last summer? We were sitting having breakfast, and he came out of the bushes and looked at us.
That was a few years ago.
Or 2 years ago, maybe.
And then went into the water.
Yeah, so he's always around. But I think that's one of the minks that were like in
captivity.
For like the fur industry or something.
Which no longer is.
No, they don't do that anymore. But some of those, they managed to run. Or what do you call that? They
ran away.
Run away from the
factory.
Or the captivity.
He didn't become a fur coat. He became a fugitive instead.
And because this is not like a breed we have normally.
No, it's
in Norway.
An invasive.
It's an invasive, but it's only one. So he can just be there. He's nice. He's catching some fish, I guess.
Anyway, we've got a property with a lot of life, that's for sure. Which actually brings me to something, Arne, because I just wanted to let everybody know. We did a garden, actually 2 garden posts. We're doing a trilogy, the story of our garden. And we've done part 1 and part 2, and part 3 is out now. And it tells the story of life, how life came into the garden. Not really.
And our inspiration.
The inspiration and all that. But there's some anecdotes there about the garden, and it's actually, the last part is not that much about the garden. It's more about the inspiration and the inspiring people we met because of the garden. Yeah. So you can, if you haven't gone and read it, you could go and take a look if you're interested in learning more about Arne and me and who we are and our story. Yeah.
And since this is called Sit and Knit for a bit.
Oh, we need to do some knitting.
So you can sit and knit while we talk normally, but we also bring out some knitting. So I think, Gard, you should show what you will do.
I want to start. I'm very eager today.
What you did on this cruise.
If you recall, last Sit and Knit for a bit, I was talking about how I was going to knit a t-shirt for Arne, or to help him. And I decided to do it. And actually, it's going to be a little teaser as well, because we've got this yarn here, and you can see it. This is brand new. This is our new sock yarn. The collection is called The Painted Room, and this is the Quiet Corner colorway. It's not out in North America quite yet, but it will be arriving next week.
Is it out in Europe already?
It's out in Europe right now, just very recently, and in America now, and in Canada. It has arrived, and it's being shipped across the continent, as we speak. So if you wait about a week, you will be able to get this. So the Painted Room collection, this is the Quiet Corner. They're quite muted and a little bit more simple. And I surprised myself. I could not believe how much I actually did in 16 days. This is massive. For me,
you can actually talk and knit, Carlos.
For me, this is a lot. Let me just, it's so heavy now. I just need to get it all.
Because if you think about it, you have worked on the same sock for quite a long time. Look at this. This is more than you have ever made on a cruise ship.
This is more than I've ever made on a cruise ship, yeah. So this is the t-shirt I'm helping Arne do. And here is the design, how it's coming out. It's got the little dashes of orange mixed with the white and the blue. The effect is actually quite nice. We're not going to show it yet because it's not out yet. But next Sit and Knit for a bit, we will be talking about it.
I think this came out really nice.
Yeah. Anyway, Arne, he said to me, when I said, how many balls of yarn should I pack? I said, should I bring 5? And he started laughing and he said, bring 1. Luckily, I brought 2 because, hello, I started on my second one.
You did.
On the cruise.
You can bring, how many do you bring on the next trip?
Well,
2 more?
I'm bringing 3. Just to be on the safe side,
And the shorter circular, because you have to start the sleeves.
Oh yeah, I need a new circular.
DPN.
Oh, but I'm still not ready to you know.
You're almost under the arm.
No, I'm not.
Wait.
I'm around my belly right now.
And there will be a pattern, but they're still working on it because the people in Wool and Company in America, they're doing it in English for us, and they're actually knitting all the sizes to check that everything is okay.
To make sure everything's
So it takes time, but it will come, and we are planning to do some workshops. Is it next year?
Yes, in Canada.
In Canada, so the t-shirt will be part of that workshop, so you can actually do it your size the way we do it when we knit a t-shirt. So,
and we can, since you already mentioned it, Arne, yes, we're going to go to Canada next year to do a few workshops on the t-shirt, and it will be in February, and we are going to Montreal, Banff, and Victoria on Vancouver Island. So those 3 locations will be doing what we're going to call immersive retreats with the t-shirt as the main project. So now you know. Now you're the first to know.
And then I also brought mine on the trip.
That's really nice.
This was finished actually.
Yes, it was.
And I didn't like the way I bind off the ribbing too loose, so I decided to take it out. But then when I came home, I was checking the length on this one compared to the other one I made, and it was shorter. So I have actually, I have a memory of a goldfish. So I should probably start looking at my notes and don't think I know everything.
I think you're just too busy. And you forget things because there's so much going on in your life.
But I took it out. And now I have joined the sleeves and the body again and starting to decrease. So I'm going to bring this on the next trip and finish it.
Yeah, I love that colorway. This is one of our old sock yarn colorways. It's called Bamble.
Bamble.
It's very, very nice. Also, this one is available now. Yeah. And also this one here that I think I want to do as a t-shirt now that I'll be knitting t-shirts for the rest of my life. This is also Bamble. Yeah. This is also Bamble. This one comes out like this.
That's a bit purple.
Yeah. So this is the sock I've been knitting in for, I think I've been doing it since summer or spring. Yeah. And now I'm glad that I got a project that actually goes quick for me.
Or actually, we had the visitors we had this weekend. Our friend, the lady, she tried this on before I unraveled it, and I have to say it looked really good on her.
It did.
But it could be a little bit shorter, but I think the neckline came out really nice because when it's so thin, the neckline looks more like a squared neckline because of the yarn. If it's a thicker yarn, it looks rounder, like on a normal raglan. This is also a normal raglan, but it comes out like a squared neckline, so it's very nice.
Yeah.
So
anyway,
I was very glad to see that it really worked so well on her.
So this works actually because I'm doing it and I don't have to look at it. Right?
No.
But I'm not going to do it because I do lose my thought.
Don't knit and talk. I can show that this is my famous UFO.
Oh yeah, the bloody stockings.
This is your stocking.
I know. Well, or yours. We don't know that it was mine that got lost.
I'm going to give you a new pair.
Thank you.
Because you have your birthday.
Thank you, darling.
You're
yes,
welcome.
I do.
And then this is what I made on the trip.
So this is the one you made before.
Yeah, this was down to the heel, and I know I had started this one, so I did.
Are they the same length?
No, I'm still working on this one. It's not the same yet, I think. Or maybe I'm down to the heel already. I have to look at my...
I think you are.
Yeah, I am. So, yeah, I am actually, because I was thinking it was hard to do a heel while I was talking.
Right.
But now it seems like I have to do it.
Are you going to finish this in Greenland?
Yeah, I'm going to bring this and try to finish this in Greenland. And I'm going to bring the t-shirt.
Yeah. And some doll clothes.
And the doll clothes.
Are those your projects?
Yeah, and I'm going to finish the sweater.
Yeah, my projects are the sweater. I'm going to do the sweater. Arne calls it a t-shirt. I call it a sweater because mine is going to have long sleeves. Yeah. I don't like short sleeves. So I'm going to do this on the cruise, and I'm going to do the project. I was going to say what the project was, but I won't.
No.
Because it's a surprise. But I'm going to do the project as well. And I like that we give out the project in increments so that everybody gets to catch up before we give out the next part.
Excitement.
Yeah.
What is it?
Otherwise, there's always one that finishes it in 20 minutes and go, look.
Look. And then
they ruin the surprise for everyone else. So we're doing it like very tight. Every 3 days, we give out a new part of a chart. That way, nobody knows until the end what the project is going to look like. Good idea, right?
Yeah. So I also finished this. I finished the sleeves on this one. The dog sledge. So I think I had just a few rounds on the body, and then I finished both sleeves. And now yesterday I sew in the sleeves, and I have marked the neckline, and I'm going to put up the stitches and knit the rib. So this will also be done on the next trip. And I think this will be good for you.
Yeah, I think this one's going to be... I'm going to wear it. Oh, sorry. Oops, my leg. I'm going to wear it in when we're in Greenland.
Yeah, because this is done in a few hours.
Yeah, plus the theme is pretty good for Greenland and Svalbard where we're going.
Then you can have this one, and I'm going to bring my polar bear sweater. So we are very appropriate.
Very appropriately attired, wearing clothing that fits the areas where we're going.
Yes. And I also sew in the sleeves. So I have this. I have to sew the facing down.
Yeah, maybe just put it near the camera so everybody can see properly how you do it.
This is the cutting from the sticking, they call it, or the cutting, and then I have this facing that goes over.
And then you sew it down by hand.
Sew it down by hand, and then the inside will be very nice.
Very pretty.
So this is another project for the trip. So I have I have 4 projects. If you think about doll clothes as one.
Yeah, I think so. I have to go pack eventually, and now I'm like, oh God, what do we pack? What do we pack? We've been on one trip, and we packed for that trip, and it was all wrong. We forgot all our things. And now I'm going to pack for this one, and I wrote a list of all the things I shouldn't forget, and then I lost the list. So I'm like, oh, what do I bring? What do I bring? And because we're going to end in Iceland, I have a secret hope that we arrive in Iceland in the morning.
So you bring yours.
So that we have the whole day, because I may want to go and swim in Reykjavik when we're there. Maybe go to the Sky Lagoon or something and submerge myself in wonderful water.
Oh yeah, that's so fun.
Yeah, well, you don't have to go. You can sit and knit with the others. I'll go and swim because I love it.
Yeah, well, it's not so bad. But...
No. But I'm thinking it's an expedition team. We need waterproof pants. We didn't bring that. Okay, so we didn't bring that on the previous cruise because it was a midnight sun cruise in Norway, summer, and we got soaking wet in Bessak.
Yeah, that was...
Which one, by the way, that was a stop on the ship route that we did. We go on the Hurtigruten, and that was a news stop.
That was a very nice place.
Oh, lovely. And the people came to greet us with flags, and it was just lovely.
So, and there was this garden, and we walked by the garden, and we took a picture, and it was said open garden, and then we went into town, and there was this a museum, looked like a thrift store. You can actually buy things if
thrift store.
No, it was a museum, but he said if someone really, really liked things, he could probably sell it. But and then I think we just walked around and we forgot everything about the garden because there was a shuttle and it was raining, so we didn't go and look at the garden. So next time.
Next time. There's always next time. Yeah. We're going next year anyway. But it was a phenomenal cruise, very lovely. We met a lot of nice people, as always, we do. And also... the people that come on our cruises, my God, how talented they are.
Yeah, we got some really nice gifts.
Not only gifts, but handmade by them gifts. These are lovely. We've got, John made us these lovely bowls.
These are beautiful.
John and Vicky from Texas, so thank you so much.
So this is actually 3 different
kinds of
woods that is glued together, and then he do that wood turning thing, and he made these. These are very beautiful. I think this is nice to have on the chest of drawer in the hall, and you can put things like keys or things.
Very, very lovely. We really enjoy them. And then apparently people know more about us than we do, because we say things and sit in it for a bit and then we forget. So at some point in our history, in the history of Arne and Carlos, at some point we may have explained Arne's deep love of ice cream, because Janice came with this, and she's made the handle herself in wood. It's beautiful. And then it's got this gigantic scoop for ice cream, and it's for you. I mean, it's for both of us, but Arne will be scooping up the ice cream.
It's so heavy, it's really nice. And you said this will have a nice place in the drawer in the kitchen because
Yeah.
it's so beautiful.
Oh,
so
I love
it
it.
could be visible.
And I love that it's matte, not. I love that it's matte stainless steel and not chrome. But those little details I really love. So I love the ice cream scooper, and I love it that it's, you know, it's a big, hefty one, which will serve Arne perfectly because he likes big scoops of ice cream. And you know, I mean, she knew this because we have said it, I guess. It happens all the time. Sometimes we're having a conversation with somebody we've just met, and we say something, and then they'll correct us and say, no, that's not how it happened.
Because we don't
and then they'll tell us how it happened because they remember it from episode 124, which we even had no idea we recorded. So it is quite funny how people know things and that we, you know, forget at some point.
And then when Janice gave us this, I said I also did this wood turning once, and I promised her, or you, if you watch, that I will show what I did for the embroidery yarn, because I just found them when I was
those are very pretty,
cleaning, because I have a small wood turner machine, and I made these like small temples. So this I use to wind the embroidery yarn around, and then I wrote the number of the color.
Let's see. So these were like little bobbins.
Yeah.
304.
Yeah, and this is
that's very pretty.
0088.
And that one has the yarn wound on it already, so you can all see what it looks like.
So my plan was to have like loads of this.
A little village of all of these. Yeah. Oh, you've got some more there.
More. I haven't had that machine out for
Bring
years.
out some more.
I just want to make a shelf on this carton so you can see, if you hold, you can see them next to each other. This is the plan. Having like these yarn temples.
Little pagodas and temples. Look at that. They're all different, huh?
Yeah. Nothing is the same. We'll have to wind that up.
This is amazing. I mean, I've seen them before, so
Yeah, but they haven't been out for years. See, this was what I did once. Maybe I should go back to this hobby.
Oh yeah.
If the machine still works.
I think nowadays with the internet, if we ever choose to leave the YouTube channel, you could do this as your business.
I can sell them.
You can sell them online.
Oh,
I think people would buy them. They are adorable. So cute.
This is my embroidery yarn temples.
Very cute.
So,
I mean, I'd buy a whole set.
Yeah.
Sold.
Oh, but I think this is really fun to work with, but I haven't done it in years, so I don't know if the machine still works. We have to put the machine out maybe next summer. And
it could be fun. I think Janice and John have inspired you, I think.
Yeah, they did, because I've done these things.
Oh, and not to mention Jerry. Yeah. I mean, we got something from Sherry and Jerry a long time ago.
Oh yeah, but that's in the Christmas decoration.
I think he inspired you too.
Yeah, actually, when he gave me that, he also reminded me that I have that machine because I should do something. And I also made this little vase with a lid on, and I had no clue how I did it.
And I also remember you made a necklace for your mother with a little.
Yeah, I did small necklaces in wood.
And she wore hers all the time. Until she died.
Yeah, and I also I did earrings. These little earrings with...
a little feather and fur.
Yeah, and you had that, you know, the one you used when you do the yarn in the spinning wheel, and you wind the yarn up on those cones, like almost like this, but it's on the spinning wheel. So I made them, and then I put silver thread around. I have them also somewhere.
Very nice stuff.
So I had a career in wood turning.
Wood turning before you became a textile artist.
No, actually, it was at the same time as I worked in a fashion school.
I know.
My hobby. I have my other hobby. I'll be working on my chem hobby. So this week I made 4 new boxes. So this outfit is complete.
It's very cute.
Yeah, it's like looks like he live on the west side of Oslo. The way he's dressed.
What is it? Is it a tennis outfit? No, it's like for going to the club, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know, but that was on the picture I saw. He had that as an outfit. So, but that's not in the old catalog.
I love the shoes and the socks.
Yeah, and this has now. This we showed last time. It was new. This is complete.
We just printed the label out this morning after having a lot of technical problems with the printer.
So this is finished. And then the boxer is complete. He's in the box with the towel. And then the last one is, I don't remember the name now because I haven't printed the label.
Is he some kind of a chef or a nurse?
He served food in
So
somewhere.
he's like a cook.
Yeah, and the only thing he miss on the outfit is the hat. And the shoes on the old drawing was this kind of shoes, but these are almost worn out. But I heard that you can actually use acrylic and paint this. So that's what I'm going to try. I'm going to paint the shoes again and make them fresh.
Very nice.
So I wonder what kind of collection I should start when this is over.
I don't know. I mean, oh yeah, you've got all your notes there.
I looked through all the boxes now that is finished, and I took pictures of them, 3 and 3. And I looked at all the outfits. So from the boxes I have done by now, this is what I miss.
Okay.
And that's not much. But then there are other outfits that is not in the box yet.
So when we were talking about this Sit and Knit episode, and you all know how much Arne loves thrifting, and you know that I do too. I mean, I do thrift, but I'm not as eager as Arne, you think. So I decided today that I wanted to share some of my finds in the thrift stores, because we are very different when it comes to thrifting and secondhand shopping. Arne goes all in like this. And he goes into a store and he can spend hours there. And then he'll find all these things that he buys for different reasons. His main reason for buying anything is it's because it's good to have, you never know.
Yeah, but that's because I collect the things. And right now I collect white porcelain things with gold for a Christmas tree I'm working on. And this weekend we had our friends, as we said, and we went thrifting the whole Saturday. We were out.
Yeah, I was not 100%.
No, you were a little bit, oh, do we really have to do this?
No, I was sick.
And then we said,
Remember,
I want to stay in bed and you can go.
And then I ended up going anyway. And I want to show you my thrifts, because I don't buy as much as Arne, and I don't buy every time. And usually what I do, because sometimes I go into a thrift store, I roll my eyes, I look very quickly and I leave. But I know what I'm looking at, I'm looking for. I scan the room for the things that I really love. And now I'm going to show you a couple of things that I bought. I have this, I like porcelain, I like china, and I like specific things. They're not necessarily like all matched into a dinner service. And last year in England, I found this, which is quite lovely. It's a cup or a big mug. It's lusterware. I put it here so you can see. So it's kind of metallic pink. It's really, really nice. It's got a image of London Bridge. No, it's an east view of the cast iron bridge over a river Ware, built by R. Birdham MP.
Oh no, you showed the secret. You put
I know. Hang on.
There's something in there.
It was built in 1793 to 1796. Anyway, so this, and then on the other side, it's got some religious stuff. It says the loss of gold is much, the loss of time is more, but losing Christ is such a loss as no man can restore.
And the lost of letters.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't. It's not why I bought it. I just love the shape. I love the color. It is so beautiful. And then there's a little secret. If you drink coffee,
I think people saw there was something in there.
Eventually it will reveal this frog inside, which is what I really loved.
That is so cool. Like, I think that was like some fun thing people did in the old days. They served beer or something and people were drinking, and suddenly they dropped the mug, or there's something in my beer. Yeah,
there's something in my beer, and it's a porcelain frog. Anyway, I love this mug. I love this mug. So that's one vintage find. And then...
But you have only one, you need 3 of them.
No, I have 3 things here.
Oh, yeah.
They're connected, but I've got 3 things. So this summer, Arne and I went to a little town on an island down very near the border with Sweden. Our friends have a summer house there, and then they knew these people who who buy and sell
I think we
secondhand
talked
stuff.
about that in the last sit.
Yeah, yes, we
Maybe,
did.
yeah, because I bought the chest of drawer for the camp
Yeah,
house.
Arne bought a little chest of drawer, and I found a second lusterware piece. Again, these beautiful, very metallic colors. This one is a house. It's just a house on one side, and it's got a little more on the other side. And yeah, I mean they're not really the same style, but it's the same color family. So they're displayed on a kitchen shelf with a few other porcelain and Chinese, not Chinese, China, porcelain and China. Ceramics, I guess. Yeah. Just looking for a word. Anyway, my second find. This one doesn't have any stamps, so we don't really know what it is.
But it's nice.
But it was cheap, and I really enjoyed it. This one doesn't have any stamps here. However, on Sunday.
And that's amazing because this is the local one.
Yeah, this is
and
the local
a lot
one.
Of not so good things also.
There's a lot of crap.
You can be lucky.
And I walked in and I scanned how I always do, and my eye just went immediately to this terrine here, and I just had to have it. And it was 100 kroner, which in euros is about 9 euros, and in dollars it's about $10. And I feel that the decorative value of this terrine exceeds the price by so much that I didn't even have to think about it. So I'll show you what it looks like. It's really, really nice. I'll show the lid because so this is what the lid looks like. It's got some sort of a crown monogram, and it's got some soldiers on it in blue and white, and there's the rest of the terrine.
It needs a wash.
It does need a wash, yeah. But I really loved it, and I'm going to display it on my kitchen, on our kitchen as well. It's super nice. This one actually came with a stamp. So this one is Homebury, England, and I've already checked, and based on the stamp, this was made sometime between 1890 and 1920. So it's old enough that it's antique.
So it's cheap for 100 kroner.
For 100 kroner, it's really cheap. I don't really care. For me, it's not, I bought something for 100 kroner, maybe it's worth 50,000. That's not my point. My point is I find it delightful. I really love, it's unusual. I've never seen anything like it before. It looks fantastic in the kitchen, and that's what matters. And it costs $10.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Nice. I won't show my stuff because I'm going to save it until closer to Christmas because it's Christmas things.
So these are my finds right now. I'm hoping we're going to Venice in September for the Biennale, and I'm hoping to find some vintage Murano glass, which is another thing I really love. So we might buy some new stuff as well.
Oh, that reminds me about something.
What?
What's the lamps again with the flowers?
Well, the
Murano lamps. Because I have a collection of flowers that we don't have. They're not from a lamp. We have.
They're from different
lamps. They could be nice on a Christmas tree.
They could.
Oh, good. Have to try that out.
Yeah, but I'll be looking for some vintage Murano glass maybe. And whenever I find porcelain like this, and also Staffordshire stuff, I really love it. So so this is kind of my edit, the way I buy China, I guess. It's.
I think you were good because I didn't see this terrine when we walked around in the store.
No, but that's because I scanned the room, and
I was looking.
A lot of these thrift stores have a lot of crap that I don't like. I mean, somebody else may like it. I don't like it. So when I walk into a store, a thrift store, what I do is I look. And if there's something that catches my eye, I go there rather than go and look at every single thing that I know I don't like. So when I went in and started scanning the room, this just was on a shelf with a lot of other stuff, and it just called my attention in a way that I just went to it, grabbed it, and said to Arne, I'm buying this.
But sometimes you don't know if you need it before you see it.
Yeah, right. I mean, obviously, we don't need this terrine.
No, but you saw it and I need that.
But I'm putting it in my kitchen, or our kitchen. I say mine because I'm the one that cooks.
You work more
I'm the one that cooks.
It's your kitchen.
I'm putting it in our kitchen on a shelf or on the kitchen counter. Maybe I'll put something in it. I don't know, but I'm not going to use it. It's just a piece of decorative porcelain for the kitchen.
But it was very fun go shopping with our friend because she see things she need. Always.
Wow.
She brought home a lot of stuff.
Does she really need?
No,
No,
not really. But do we? Not
No.
really.
not really.
Well,
But it's fun. And I mean, this was worth it for me.
yeah.
I'm very happy with my purchase.
So we had a good day in the thrift store.
Very good day in the thrift store. And I did this with a slight fever.
Yeah, you see?
That's how good I am.
That's how good you are.
Just kidding.
But you're good now. You're ready for a new...
I'm ready for a new adventure. Absolutely. We are going on Friday to Oslo, meet our group, and then on Saturday we are flying on top of the world to Svalbard.
Yeah.
Provided there's no strike, please.
No,
Please.
don't.
There might be a strike on Saturday, but they're working it out.
Yeah.
So more than likely we'll fly to Svalbard on on Saturday. And because this podcast is pre-recorded, today is Wednesday.
Is it Wednesday?
It's Wednesday, yeah.
It's Wednesday.
So Saturday we go to Longyearbyen and we board the MS Fram, which is really one of the favorite expedition ships of many people.
Yeah.
And we are going to be on the Fram for 15 days. First in Svalbard and then across the ocean to Greenland. Pray for no bad weather. Please.
More
Let
pills.
it all be calm.
I need more pills.
Let it all be nice and quiet and calm. And then we're going to hang out in Greenland and visit Eastern Greenland. Last year we were in Western Greenland.
Bring home another tupilak.
I want two
tupilaks.
because the tupilak is the little figures that are carved from horn, from a reindeer horn, among other things.
And probably no thrifting in Greenland.
Right. And before you say anything, reindeers lose their horns. They don't cut them off. They don't kill the reindeer for the horn. The horns, they lose them naturally. No, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying they lose their horns naturally, and then the Inuits use the horn for different kinds of things. Among others, they carve the little tupilak figures, and we bought one last year, and it's driving us crazy. This little figure. I think we've talked about it before.
The one who moves.
Because it's carved from a reindeer horn. It's tilted. And we have it in a high traffic area on a little commode. And each time we pass by it, it turns a little bit, So at the beginning we thought it was haunted.
Yeah, we have to find another one that is more straight so it can stand next to him.
I wanna take measurements of it. I wanna take the height. Because I'd like to have two more, and I would like them in different heights.
Yeah, like the flower decorations.
Yeah, 3. I want
fire and wind.
Whatever.
Sky.
Or 3 tupilak, because 3 is what I want. And I want one like this, one like this, and one like that. Something like that. So that's what I will be looking for on the very few opportunities that we have to see people on the trip.
Yeah. Are you buying more Kvyat?
No, I'm not buying any Kvyat this time. And I think we're only going to 1 or 2 isolated places where we may potentially be able to buy something. My wish to purchase them is twofold. On the one hand, I want them as decoration. I need 2 more. And on the other hand, I want to support the locals. I'm bringing cash.
Yeah, we still have Danish money.
Yeah. I'm bringing cash, and I just want to buy them. And I want to buy them. I don't want to buy them in a store. I want to buy them of the person who carved it, which is what I did last time.
Yeah.
That's very important to me.
So that's always nice.
To make sure that they get the money.
We have a plan.
We have a plan, yeah.
And
then we'll be knitting on top of the world, exploring a beautiful, untouched place on a tiny little ship that is a hybrid, so it does run on electricity and doesn't pollute as much as.
And see how much knitting we get done.
And see how much knitting we get done.
You know, when you come into Greenland, that's the new area for us. We haven't been on the East Coast before, so you can't look down all the time.
No.
You have to work on something where you can actually look out, and knit at the same time.
Yeah.
That's life.
Yeah.
Our life is so difficult.
Oh.
You have to plan the knitting.
I think our life is quite nice.
No, I think about all the projects.
Yeah, well, that's true. And after then, when we come back from the knitting on top of the world, we have a few weeks to record some podcasts that you might be wondering whether we'll do again this year or not. And
yes,
I'm not
we
saying, well, I'm not saying what we're
but
talking
we will
about,
do it.
but we may well do it. So, and if we do, they will be recorded in September. And then we're going on we're going on the knitting under the Borealis around in Norway on the Coastal Express.
Yep.
And then we've got a few more trips this year. We're doing a textile trip to Peru, and then Christmas on the Danube.
And that's the dangerous one.
That is a very dangerous one because that's going to be
We have to bring an empty suitcase.
When we go into potential financial ruin because of all the Christmas markets where Arne is going to get to shop.
But sometimes, there can be so many choices that in the end you don't buy anything or you don't bring anything home because you can't pick.
Yeah.
That can happen.
Yeah.
But I'm still I'm looking for things for my new Christmas tree, which we will show later.
Mm-hmm.
So there's big chances there will be something in the suitcase home.
We're also excited about going back to Peru. We used to work there, if people don't know. We've talked about it before, I think. We used to do all our knitwear production from the time we were in the fashion industry. We manufactured our knitwear in Peru, and then it was exported all over the world. So Peru is one of those countries that we have great knowledge in and deep connection to.
And we also worked with the same yarn company that now is the owner of the company who produced the yarn for us. So we now we're like back to where we started.
It's interesting. It's a full circle moment.
It's a full circle.
We worked in Peru for many, many, many years. We would go every year, twice, 3 times. We would always stay longer because we do corrections at the factory and then they needed to reknit the prototypes. And while they were remaking the prototypes, either by hand bloom machine or in electronic machines, we'd go somewhere and connect more with the people and the traditions for textiles. Peru is amazing. Yeah. It's got 4,000 years of textile traditions. Then we'd go back and we'd, approve everything and then we'd go home. Yeah. And we do that for years and years and years. Last time we went to Peru was in 2015. Yeah. And when we were there, we also took some friends with us and we walked the Inca Trail from the Sacred Valley all the way to Machu Picchu.
So would you do that again?
Yeah, I would.
I think I would, actually.
I would.
It was nice.
It was nice.
And I think I wouldn't do Hadrian's Wall one more time. We did that once, but the Inca Trail I would.
I would do the Inca Trail again. I would not do Hadrian's Wall again.
No.
Not because Hadrian's Wall was horrible and Inca Trail was amazing. It's just two different things, completely different. And Hadrian's Wall was much longer, and that's really
flat.
The thing.
A lot of flat.
Oh, there was a little bit of that too.
A little bit bumpy somewhere.
But Hadrian's Wall was much, much longer. It took us too many days. Inca Trail is focused, it's like 3.5 days, pretty much. But anyway, it's a full circle because we relaunched our sock yarn under our own brands. And our partner is actually owned by Inca Tops, which is the big manufacturer of alpaca and merino and Pima cotton yarns in the world from Peru.
So that would be nice. We can we're going to bring the group to see the factory. And
we know we're going to meet the owner of the whole thing, the whole shebang. But we're bringing our guests to the Inca Tops facilities, or one of them, in Arequipa, which will be fantastic. And then actually, Arne, Inca Tops has this laboratory where they do a lot of experimenting, and they have a huge colony of black alpacas. We're not going there on the tours because that's very remote, but we've been invited.
Yeah, next time.
So we're gonna go. I think it's Pacamarca, it's called. It's amazing. So we're going to go and see what that is all about. And see if we could bring people there in the future. I'm not sure, because it is very remote. But anyway, so we're very excited about the Peru trip because it's a full circle. We're doing one in October, and then we're doing another one again in April because the October one sold out very quickly, and so did the April one in 27. So in case you're interested in this trip, we are going to do one again, maybe in April 2028. Yes. So let us know if you're interested. and we'll put you on the list.
But you know, Carlos, I think we have to stop.
Yeah,
Because
but
it's so warm in here.
I know, but before we stop, I also, since we're talking about trips, I also wanted to just give a quick, a final overview of the trips that we have planned. Haven't opened yet, but will soon. We've got Knitting Under the Midnight Sun again next year. It will start on August 6th, from August 6th to 23rd, I believe. So save the date for that. That's coming really soon. We're also doing Ireland. Gardens and the origin of knitting. So it's a garden and knitting trip to Ireland. And we're doing 2, probably, because I think we're going to have a lot of requests for this trip. It's 70% gardens, because we also have this huge interest in gardens.
And knitters do like gardening.
Right, and knitters do like gardening. And 30% knitting with a visit to the Aran Islands specifically. Again, gardens in the United Kingdom and Ireland are things we know well from traveling there years and years and years and seeing pretty much everything there is to see. So we're doing that. We're also doing a knitting cruise on the Douro.
Yeah.
The Douro River in Portugal. Again, we also have a tie to Portugal because when we were in the fashion industry, we manufactured apparel in Portugal. Yeah. So we had contact with textile factories and other things. So we've always wanted to do a knitting cruise there. That trip will start in Lisbon and continue on to Porto by land, and then we'll board on the Douro River and go up.
And they have great antiques.
Yes, they do.
Nice thrifting.
Oh God, Portugal is amazing. So anyway, the trips to Ireland will be in May, probably May, June. Portugal will be in September. And then we're planning to go back to Japan as well. So in 2027, probably in the beginning of November when we have foliage. And the trip is all about minge, which is a tradition in Japan. It's an arts and crafts tradition from the 20s about seeing the beauty in everyday objects.
And you have planned places where tourists normally don't go.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah, we've been to Japan.
Some new things that people...
Right. Again, for our work, we've been traveling to Japan for 25 years. So we're looking at some specific places where they can highlight things like lacquerware, dyeing of textiles, and of course our really good friend Hikaru Noguchi, who is an expert in visible mending, darning, which is very minge if you look at the philosophy.
I have a jacket like this, thin wool, that I have saved because that's the one I'm gonna bring and mend.
And she's going to do a workshop for us, which we will attend as well, to learn more on visible mending. And there's a lot more on this Japan trip. So that will be in November. And then if we love the knitting on the Danube Christmas market trips, which I'm sure we will. Okay, let's put it this way. If we're not broke after that trip, we're going to do Christmas on the Rhine in 2027 and go to the Christmas markets in Strasbourg, Cologne, Colmar.
I think that's a good thing. I think we should make the Christmas thing into a tradition because that's what we were famous for.
Yeah, knit a ball a day on a cruise. So every day, knit one new Christmas ball, and then we get to the place, out of the ship, shop, back on the ship, and keep on.
That's life.
So anyway, those are our trips that we're planning right now. If anything is enticing or interesting and you need more information, do feel free to write to us about it.
Yeah.
Okay, Arne, we need some... I'm getting a little dizzy. I think
I'm very warm. It's so warm in here. I think we have a weather change again, or maybe the thunderstorms are coming. Or
I still have the remnants of the snuffles that I've had for a few days. I'm okay, and I will be fine this weekend. But yeah, I need a sip of water, and I need to lie down and rest.
We're both having this thin wool sweaters.
Yeah, we're having a thin wool moment.
Thin wool moment.
Yeah, because the hand knits are too thick for this weather.
Oh, I thought you made it.
Yeah.
Since you're so good on thin needles.
No, but I am making this.
Yeah, you are. Oh.
Anyway, we hope that you've enjoyed our podcast. If you have, please give us a big thumbs up. Engage with the content, comment, like, and subscribe.
Yeah. And you can also be a member on the YouTube side.
Yeah. The membership gives you additional content like catch-ups and all sorts of fun shenanigans, quiz.
Or you could watch the plants grow in the garden like we did this summer.
Yeah, we've done a garden series on our on our members channel for you to enjoy. So anyway, check out the members channel if you are interested in that. And if not, it's fine. You can come here every month. We have a podcast, and you can get to know everything we've been up to.
Yes.
So
take care.
Take care.
Let's get out and cool down.
Let's have a sip of water. So thank you so much for watching, and we will see you again next month.
Bye.
Bye.